What's going on, guys? How are you doing today? It's Angry Role Player, earning the morning as usual. Guys, today I want to show you the build that's been in the works for the last time and all for the last weeks. It's a pretty obscure build that not many people know exists, and it's a Demon Hunter build. I've been playing Demon Hunt for the last couple of months in Diablo 3 when I've been playing Diablo 3. And I came up with this build that uses rapid fire grenades. And this build in fact is known to some people, but it is not popular because it doesn't have as impressive damage that an M6 or an Hallowed Essence unleashes. So basically this is suboptimal fun build. And actually Woodidjo tried this build on PTR and he was not impressed with the power of the build. He was really struggling with the 80. And Woodidjo is like exceptionally skilled player for the Demon Hunter and Diablo 3 in general. He played it a little differently and not very optimized because obviously he was not very interested in optimizing this build. He like instantly felt that there's no damage in this build. But I wanted to get the perfect setup and the maximum DPS setup for this build and just put it to test and see how far can I go with this build, guys. I will show you it is in 75. It's not insane impressive great reef. Just want to show you that this build is absolutely possible. Like, it's possible to play. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. So this is it. This passive here is like an option, and many other things can be done here. I prefer ambush because it's kind of an all-time DPS classic. It's pretty unfortunate blues here. Got wrecked. Now the second problem of the most Legacy of Nightmares build is not even the damage but the toughness as well. All the LoN builds out there are like very squishy. Of course the damage comes first because the LoN set is very weak now. It's like very weak. It is the lowest multiplier among all other sets now, so it's kind of retarded. This is like the main problem why no one plays and why the LoN builds, they do not even exist now. Oh, this level is really shitty. Not even sure I can make it in this kind of level, There's so many fucking retarded mobs here. Fucking retarded. There's always shooting junk. Look at all this fucking junk. there is damage when you know, I really like aim to their elite. Initially, I wanted to to name this build like, you know, pissing grenades, because it looks so funny, you know. It like it's fucking pisses grenades. Pretty retarded. Look at all these mobs, they're fucking retards. It's pretty embarrassing, but 75 is really a struggle for this build, because it's, you know, there's just simply no damage. Like, there is toughness, I optimized toughness, and I actually optimized all the fucking damage that is possible in this build. But the damage is still simply not there. Like, it takes quite a lot of time to kill everything. Even on such a low level, such as this. If the Legacy of Nightmares will get a buff, the first problem will be that it will also buff their the LoN Bomb Seeder. This is like, you know, the main fucking problem. It will buff the Bomb Satyr so much that all the other builds will be like automatically suboptimal and shitty compared to it. Also great to have some kind of piercing in this build, because currently they have no piercing at all. The single target damage is also pretty decent. Like, you can pierce these grenades like crazy, and it's not a problem at all to kill anything. But all the rest across the rift, it's a big fucking problem to kill anything. All these fucking ghosts, they wreck me. They simply wreck me, it's kind of embarrassing in such a low rift compared to, you know, that you can do like 90 with an M6, 90 with a fucking unhaloed essence, like it's no big deal at all. Fucking ghost. Let's go find some monsters. Oh, here's one. Oh! Got wrecked almost immediately. Ripperoni. He's no more elite, so I will die. Also this, you know, grenades, they still kind of have no weak tiny AoE, so they're not as impressive as the rest of the grenades. Like really could be better, I think. Could be something better here. Oh no, fucking arcanes. Fucking arcanes. Holy shit. Now if only this could get us some buff, it will be immediately like viable. I like really like rapid fire. I think that was the fucking first build that I played in for Demon Hunter like 20 fucking years ago. And I really like rapid fire. It's fucking awesome. Give me the fucking pylon, you retards. Well, this is it. Let's look how I can pierce on the veracity. See, like, the damage is pretty decent. It's almost as good as, you know, some other builds that uses the Legacy of Nightmares, but unfortunately it's still not as good as the rest of the current builds. Still a very suboptimal build. Pretty cool. So this is it, guys. This is it. I will show you the build if you're interested, like really want to see what kind of build is that. The build uses the Legacy of Nightmare set with the Wailing Host and the Litany of the Undaunted Rings. And the perfect rolls that you need to have here are just damage, critical hit damage, chance, and that's it. The Helmless Vision of Gunas that give us the Dark Heart rune, so on the skill bar we can use the Sith rune and basically never run out of hatred. If you don't have the Vision of Gunas, you can also use Andariel's Lyrics Crown is absolutely possible. With Lyrics Crown, however, you will have much less toughness in general. So you will have to use maybe Achilles Cuirass equipped here instead of Senior Core, because this all Legacy of Nightmares builds are very fragile. And the stats that you will have on your Visage of Gunas will have Dex, Vid, and Hit Chance. You can also roll Rapid Fire here instead of Vitality, but I do not recommend it because the build is really squishy. And even though you see pretty much fucking stupid toughness here, it's still not very high. You obviously saw that. It's a more like a melee build almost. The chest is Cinder Cord, the ancient one of course, with as max fire damage as possible. The shoulders are the mental channeling because rapid fire is a channeling build, and the stats should be Dex, Vid, CDR, and area damage. Area damage is extremely strong in this build. Unfortunately, I don't have area damage anyway, just CDR. So CDR and area damage is top priority. Don't forget that for this build to work like with max potential, you need every slot ancient, so you need 13 ancients here. The gloves are a Mage Fist with Dex, Vid, hit damage and chance. You also may have area damage here instead of Vid, but I do not really recommend this. The bracers are Lacunius Brawlers or the Nemesis bracers. The Nemesis bracers will give you more elites, and potentially that will be a better clear speed. But I don't have really good ancient Nemesis bracers with fire and dex, so but I have a pretty decent ancient Lacunius. So I use Lacunius because Lacunius always roll with attack speed. That's why they were really good in the past, and for any attack speed, I know channeling build Lacunius are pretty decent. As for the pants, these are from your Witch Doctor, and these are Swampland Raiders. They actually roll with the fire damage, and these are the only pants in the game that roll with elemental damage. Unfortunately, they always roll with intelligence, so if you have yours with intelligence, if you're lucky, you can re-roll intelligence to dexterity and get more damage than I do. Mine are pretty shitty. They are ancient but are pretty shitty, and I have intelligence here instead of dexterity, otherwise I would have more damage. Their boots are pretty much either Boots of Disregard or ancient illusory boots. You can also use Ice Climbers, but I really recommend the illusory boots. Unfortunately, I don't have ancient dexterity illusory boots. I only have strength and intelligence illusory boots, so I use just generic any ancient good boots to fill the slot to get the ancient bonus from the Legacy of Nightmares set. But illusory boots, Boots of Disregard for additional regen, or Ice Climbers to prevent you from freezing are really nice. As for the belt, of course it's Hellcat Waistguard, guys. This is mandatory because it's basically all our damage in this build, like a huge portion of our damage. I prefer 3-second belt here because the belts, the grenades are very fast in this build, and the faster grenades that you have, the more explosions you can overlap, and the more explosions will come out, and you will faster reach this short fuse explosion. So the 3-second bell, I really recommend this one here. But if you stack a lot of area damage, you may try to get the 5-second ancient bell here, because area damage starts working better when you start doing overlapping grenades, and when, for example, you have high attack speed and you shoot a grenade and it starts bouncing, and then the next one comes out, the next one comes out, and they start overlapping each other and create massive area damage. The amulet is pretty much the ancient fire hellfire amulet with critical damage enchants, but this is like the hardest part for me personally, and I never got a good fire ancient amulet for the any dex class, so I only have this. This is like a very generic amulet. Unfortunately, I don't have resistance amulet with fire, so 80 fire critical damage enchants ancient amulet is all we need, guys. For the weapons, these are core items for our build. This is Vodjani Assaulter. This is a two-hander like heavy crossbow, and you need to use the heavy crossbow in your hand and use the down in the cube. That's what's, you know, kind of a mistake that Woodidjo did during his PTR test, because he had down here and Vodjani Assaulter in the cube. Unfortunately, Vodjani Assaulter is a two-hander and he has much no heavier hits. It has much wider and heavier damage. All two-handers that hit harder in this game than one-handers. And for example, if we have used two hand crossbows, it will be great. But we also need this quiver, so we have to use Vodjani Assaulter because it buffs our rapid fire. Rapid fire deals up to 75% increased damage for every half second that we channel and stacks up to 4 times. This is basically the main weapon for this build. Without this weapon, playing this build is almost like impossible, unfortunately. And the quiver is Sin Seekers. Rapid fire no longer has a channel cost, and basically with this quiver we never run out of hatred, and we can effectively utilize a killer's curse in the cube and give more damage reduction. That's super important for survival in the high grade rift, and you exactly saw it like I did, like I progressed. Without Sin Seekers it's possible to play, but unfortunately it will be very hard to maintain a killer's curse bonus because a channeling cost is quite massive, and even with the constant Sith you will still start draining and dropping a bit on and off, and a killer's curse bonus will be really hard to maintain, guys. For the legendary gems, it's Bane of the Stricken, Bane of the Trapped, and Esoteric Alteration. I also tried running with the Z-Stone, and it's like a fucking awesome, absolutely awesome gem. The DPS one, exactly like in every grenade build. Z-Stone is fucking fantastic. Also, I do not absolutely recommend Bane of the Powerful because, you know, eventually you will not be able to kill all the minions for elites. And for Bane of the Powerful to proc, you need to actually kill all minions as well as the elite. So the Z-Stone is like one of the best options, DPS options here instead of Esoteric Alteration. Another good options here is the Pain Enhancer because we'll get massive attack speed increase. And we don't want to use Taeguk, guys. We don't really want to use Taeguk because with Taeguk and Sin Seekers, this channeling, you know, this rapid fire does not really count as a channeling spell. It does count as a channeling spell, but it stops channeling after 1 stack. So we simply don't have Taeguk stacks when we start channeling with rapid fire. You can try it yourself, it's pretty fun, but Taeguk doesn't work with this build, unfortunately. So it's either Z-Stone or Pain Enhancer. That's the two main gems that you need to use. Another good option also is the Gogok of Swiftness, guys. It's exceptionally strong as well, exceptionally strong, especially if you don't have the required 36% cooldown reduction. 36 cooldown reduction is required for permanent vengeance with the Dawn in the cube. And if you don't have 36% cooldown reduction, you can have, use Gogok of Swiftness instead of Esoteric Alteration. It will give almost pretty decent dodge and a pretty decent toughness boost, also some attack speed, and also CDR. It's like an all-purpose quality of life gem that is exceptionally strong in this build as well. Bit of stickiness, of course, here to kill the elites. It's nothing crazy. As for the normal gems, I strongly recommend all diamonds everywhere except for the weapon, of course, where you can use an emerald. But all diamonds, this is for CDR, this is for all resistance. That's it, guys. For the cube, we have Dawn here, of course, to reduce cooldown of Vengeance. And we have Sith here. And from the Vision of Goodness, we have the Dark rune. So basically, we get more damage reduction. And the armor, of course, it's a Killer's Cuirass. And here in the ring with the combination of the elements, you can use Elusive Ring for the damage reduction on hardcore if you ever play hardcore and you want to play it, or you need more damage reduction. You can use Elusive Ring here instead, or maybe Unity if you have it paired on your follow. But I don't recommend it because, you know, unfortunately, Legacy of Nightmares really struggles with damage. You saw it in the Rift. And we need as much damage as we can in every build that we play. As for the skills, guys, on the first button, Rapid Fire Bombardment, this is our main damage dealer. Rapidly fire grenades that explode in a 9-yard radius. This is like small AoE exploding, and this also bounces like crazy. On the right button, this is a completely optional slot. This is either the DPS or the toughness that you can have. I prefer Phantom Knight's bladed armor here, but you can use something like Sentry, the Polar Station to proc, you know, the Beam in the Trap. You can use, for example, Smoke Screen, you can use Shadow Power or the Caltrops Bait of the Trap for additional damage. No, this is an optional slot, and it's absolutely an option, it's not even required. On the first button, War Tumble for additional, you know, mobility. On the second button, we have Preparation, Focused Mind. Another option here is also to use Battle Scars, and I ran with the Battle Scars for some time, but I kind of stick it to the Focused Mind because, you know, Discipline drains really quick when you reposition, especially without Illusory Boots. The Focused Mind is one of the best here, and the second best is the Battle Scars for life recovery. Here is Vengeance Sith, basically all damage dealer and toughness and hatred recovery. That's very important, guys, very important. For the companion, we use either Wolf Companion that I use personally for additional damage, or another option is the Boar Companion for all resistance and life regen. This is like the best toughness option that you can have in this game for the Demon Hunter. But I prefer Wolf because, you know, I really like damage. For the passive, Brooding for life regeneration when we stand still, and we stand still a lot to channel. Awareness and extra life when we take fatal damage. Grenadier for all grenades that we cast with our rapid fire. And the fourth is an option. It may be many things, like I use ambush, like, you know, an all-purpose DPS passive. They can be numbling traps, you know, when we hit them with Phantom Knives. With if we play with the Centros, we can use numbling traps. Also, we can use the archery because we have the crossbow and we can get 50% critical hit damage, basically a 10% more damage for the build. Or we can actually use leech and no leech life more effectively, gain life for a hit. We can use steady aim, like we can use also the Cool the Weak, also incredibly strong against slow and chilled enemies. And with Bane of the Trap, we basically slow anything with the 15-yard radius. So there's quite a fucking ton of options here, guys, and it's it's an optional slot. You can slot everything here. So I think this is it for the build, guys. Unfortunately, like I said, this build is quite suboptimal and it's only limited by the Legacy of Nightmares and this legendaries. That's rapid fire is pretty weak still, and even though I know that for a fact that many people like rapid fire, and I do like rapid fire as well, it's a very old school play, from ages ago. but unfortunately the legendaries supporting the build are still extremely weak, and the Legacy of Nibus itself multiply is very weak now compared to everything else like the Marauders or Heraldescents. So that's all I wanted to show you for this build, guys, and it's one of the last builds that I wanted to do for Diablo 3. Unfortunately, there's no new content, there's no new reworked legendaries so far, and up till the Necro, I guess, we won't see pretty much maybe anything. So this is it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon.